You've probably heard many times that gaming laptops are just a waste of money and that you should build a PC or buy a console instead. Even I said that in a previous video. But first of all, watch this video till the end, because I'm gonna prove to you that the statement better build a PC for this price is completely wrong. Even though I've been a PC guy forever and I don't like laptops. And I'll explain why I said that in my previous video about laptops. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the most harmless one, portability. Yeah, you could already say what an obvious statement, but wait a minute, I wouldn't say that so quickly. Because to be clear, laptops don't always deliver the portability they promise. Yeah, and that's true, and to prove it, I'll give you several examples that aren't obvious at first glance. First of all, I have to say that PCs aren't portable. They're stuck in one place, as you probably know. But the second thing is, you also can't just move gaming laptops around for quickly walks to the library or coffee shops. They're noisy and heat up like crazy. And I'm only talking about gaming laptops here. Asus, Acer, Lenovo, Razer, not Macs. Still, I add this point to the laptop side because it's better than a PC in this regard. Even though portability is a stretch, you can take a laptop to your temporary apartment, on short trips, or while traveling, and still work on projects or play something. But with a PC, that's impossible. You'd have to carry the case, monitor, keyboard, mouse, and everything else. And let me tell you about one situation I experienced that made me slightly regret building a PC. When I was jobless and looking for work, I came across several job openings that required video editing skills. I was almost hired because I had every skills that I need, but I didn't have a laptop to bring to the office. That alone disqualified me. So if you live in a temporary apartment, plan to travel, or work as an editor or a designer, a gaming laptop isn't just an option, it might actually be necessary. Okay, let's say your apartment isn't temporary and you're not planning to travel for a while, but it's not that big either. You don't have space for a 32-inch or ultra-wide monitor, maybe not even a proper desk, but you still want to build a career using your laptop and enjoy gaming on ultra settings. In that case, buying a laptop is a great choice. Some people, like the old me, might say this isn't the right way, that you should enjoy gaming with a 4K monitor and mechanical keyboard. Okay, I agree with part of that statement. People should strive to improve their setup and life overall. But now I've realized there are other types of people, ones who don't want flashy setups. They just want to feel the game. They don't care about 4K, 120 FPS or 360 Hz, or even ultra graphics. They just want to play, and I don't judge either side. Especially if you don't know much about monitors and devices, why not just buy a laptop? You get the monitor and keyboard integrated, and overall it's cheaper than buying the wrong components separately. So if you're considering something in between, I'd suggest thinking about these factors too, because today there are tons of great laptops to choose from if building a PC isn't an option. Another reason you might go for a laptop instead of a PC is that today's games just aren't that demanding, and the latest GPUs kind of make no sense. I mean, look at the RTX 50 series from Nvidia or the RX 9000 series from AMD. There are still no games that need these GPUs, and this happens every year when AMD and Nvidia release something new. They say more teraflops, better RTX, DLSS is improved, but really, is that worth another $1,000? It just feels like overkill, kind of like buying a laptop instead of building a PC, as most PC guys like me would say. So yeah, it's overkill buying an overkill, but at least you can carry it around. But of course, if you're gonna leave hate comments under this video, first think about it. Don't assume everyone around you is like you. I used to do that, and some people gave me really good arguments that made me rethink things. Just because you understand PC specs doesn't mean everything else does. That's why I try to leave constructive opinion on the comment, not a hate. Everyone has different needs. Some are students who don't need to build a PC, some are streamers who can't do what they do on a single laptop, some are remote workers who might need to leave home at any time. For them, a laptop makes total sense. Forcing everyone to build a PC or buy a laptop just limits people's flexibility, and it creates unnecessary demand and imbalance in the market. And as you've probably figured out, you don't need a super expensive laptop to compete with a PC. You just need one that runs RDR2 on medium or high settings, and you'll be fine. You'll be able to game and work whatever you want at decent quality. Just please don't go to a library or coffee with it. You look awkward with that noise. Okay, as I said earlier, not everyone here is a PC nerd like us guys. That's why, as you probably know, after building a PC, there's a difficult process that even experienced builders don't enjoy. Cable management, downloading an OS onto a flash drive, opening BIOS, doing multiple steps, installing the OS onto the PC, and then installing drivers. When it comes to cable management, I personally don't like cables, so I try to hide them as much as I can. But most of the time, it's not as easy as it seems. Not only that, after finishing your build, you first have to make sure that side cover of the case can be closed. As a rule, there are tons of cables coming from the motherboard and PCU, and sometimes it's difficult to close the case. But after that, that's not the end. You also have to manage all the cables from your mouse, keyboard, and other peripherals, which makes everything even harder. Even though it might sound simple, it can actually take a lot of time. Though of course, that depends on the person doing it. But on a laptop, those problems are rare compared to a PC. Most of the time it comes with a pre-installed OS and drivers, with all the settings done, and of course no cables at all. That's one good part of owning a laptop if you're someone who doesn't understand computers or doesn't want to bother with all that. Okay, now I've finished my arguments for laptops. Let's try to determine who needs a laptop and who needs a desktop. I'd say it this way. As I said earlier, laptops are designed to be portable and convenient to carry around. That said, laptops are essentially a portable version of a PC, designed to be weaker, smaller, and more mobile than a desktop. In that sense, you could say laptops are just mini PCs. So, who needs laptops? First of all, students. They're probably the top consumers of laptops, because most students don't look for ideal places to study. I mean, if you're a student, you don't need your parents' house or a perfect apartment. You go whatever your university is. In this case, bringing an entire desktop setup would be a bad idea. You're living in a temporary apartment with unfamiliar people, and at the beginning, you probably wouldn't trust anyone with an expensive desktop. What if they broke it or stole something? That's why they buy laptops instead. It's an ideal solution. You get a tiny desktop that can do pretty much everything. Gaming, presentations, 3D design, or editing in After Effects, if it's powerful enough. Plus, you can take it anywhere, to class, the park, or your student housing. The downsides, laptops are usually more expensive than a desktop build, and you'll face some issues like overheating or noise. But for students, it's not a deal breaker. Next, we have digital nomads, people who move frequently. Digital nomads work without a fixed office and do everything remotely. For them, the result matters more than the process. All they need is a solid internet connection and a decent laptop, depending on their profession. Carrying a full desktop setup isn't practical for them either. That's why they go for laptops, often MacBooks. But some digital nomads also want to play games in their free time, and those people might choose Asus or Lenovo gaming laptops, even though working on a MacBook is easier, not to mention a desktop PC. That's everything I wanted to say in this video, but just to be clear, this doesn't mean I like laptops more than desktops. This video is for people who misunderstood my previous videos about laptops. I made some mistakes there, sure, but that video was mostly aimed at gamers. And now I want to clarify why you still shouldn't buy a laptop in certain cases. First of all, if you're just a gamer, I'll say it straight. Why buy a laptop when you can build a desktop that's way cheaper and offers a better experience? If you're not planning to use your laptop outside your room, what's the point? It's a bad idea, just build a PC. Second, if you're a streamer, you don't just have to build a PC, you must. A serious streamer sitting with a laptop doesn't sound right. You get the idea. Of course, these are just surface level examples. There are 8 million people out there, each with different situations. But in the end, you need to choose what fits your lifestyle. In this video, I just wanted to explain how to respond when someone says don't build a PC or don't buy a laptop. The truth is, it's always up to you. So if you liked the video, thanks for watching and take care.